Hello everyone, and welcome to a spreadsheet! Yes, doesn't this look exciting? Okay, this is something very different to what I normally do, and the video itself will look a bit dull, but that's because I've just jotted down all the information I could on every single perk card we've been shown so far that I was able to find from Fallout 76. There's 53 of them. So yeah, we've got quite a few to go through, and I figured I'd do this video so that everyone can see the information I've gathered, get a rough idea of what the perks are going to be, and just hear my opinions on some of them. Some of them are very simple, just be nice and quick going over, some I'll go into a little bit more depth. But I'll try and keep it fairly quick, because as I say there's 53 of them, so if I spent like 5 minutes on each, I'd collapse. Quite simply. Now, before I do start talking at all about them, quick disclaimer, they are subject to change. The game doesn't come out for 3 more months. They've already changed between presentations and stuff, to some extent. So, yeah, none of this is completely solid information that is going to be exactly the same as when the game comes out. All of these could change when the game comes out, even after the game comes out, things could be altered. But let's get started. I've grouped them all into special categories. I've got the card names here, the effects of what they do, the rank that I was shown on the card that I saw, the maximum rank they can go up to, and the point cost. So, first up we have Bandolier, which is ballistic weapon ammo, weighs 90% less. Current rank 3 out of 3, and it costs 3 points of strength to be able to use it. Now below that we have batteries included. Energy weapon ammo weighs 30% less, current rank 1, maximum rank 3, point cost 1. From these two combined, we can deduce that for each of them, each rank equivalates to the point cost, so rank 1 costs 1, rank 3 costs 3, assumedly rank 2 costs 2, and each time it's 30% less, then 60% less, then 90% less. So obviously if you're going for a specific guns character or a specific energy weapons character, these can be very helpful for just reducing carry weight of all the ammo you want to lug around. Means you won't have to debate quite so much, oh, do I want to take this amount of ammo with me, or do I want to store some more free space for junk I pick up? So, very nice perks to have, very simple as well though. Similarly, Bear Arms, which as I first thought from seeing the character with the Bear Arms would be a melee perk, or unarmed even, nope. Heavy guns weigh 20% less, and that's current rank 1 of 4 with 1 point cost. Now, assumedly this could mean it goes up to 80% less heavy gun weight, which would be huge, would really mean going around with like a minigun or something like that. Tie that in with Bandolier, which I assume would work for 5mm rounds. Yeah, you could just tear people to shreds with miniguns. So there's, yeah, a good strength build could be a heavy gun character that just fires all of the bullets. Now, Expert Slugger and Gladiator, very similarly, just your two-handed or your one-handed melee weapons now do plus 10% damage. And that's for each rank. We've already seen Gladiator a bit more in depth. Each time it goes up in a rank, goes up in a point cost, and it goes up by another 10%. So assumedly, Expert Slugger will be the same. Next up, Through Hiker. Food and drink weights are reduced by 30%. It starts at rank 1, can go up to rank 3, and we've got our first unknown. The, top left corner of the card was covered in the point where I saw it, so I'm not sure what the point cost is. I'd assume 1, and then it goes up the same as the others. Most of them are like that, but not all of them. It's not always a case of each rank is an additional point, sometimes it differs. But yeah, this is a survival game of sorts, so you'll need food and drink, just an all-round decent perk by the sounds of it. Next up, Expert Heavy Gunner. This is one they kind of showed off as being a bit fancy in the Q&A presentation. Your non-explosive heavy guns now do plus 10% damage, and that is rank 1 of 3, assumedly again 10%, 20%, 30%, just like Expert Slugger and Gladiator. And Sturdy Frame, armour weighs 25% less than normal, rank 1 out of 2 at 1 cost, so 25% and then maybe 50% as the second rank? Assumedly could be so. That, once again, is something that sounds really cool, plus power armour. Think about how heavy power armour was, especially in Fallout 4 survival mode. Yeah, having that weighed down by way less, 25% or 50%, that would be huge. Think about it, power armour user with a minigun doing extra damage, weighing much less. Yeah, strength, it could be really, really good for that type of character. Now though, let's head straight on to Perception, which honestly is the one I'm least interested in. First up we have Perceptor Bobble. You hear directional audio when in range of a bobblehead, and it's rank 1 of 1, cost 1, so a nice cheap perk. I don't know how many bobbleheads there will be, so it's difficult to say how useful this will be, but I'm not overly excited by it. It's, alright. Night Person. Gain +1 intelligence and +1 perception between the hours of 6 PM and 6 AM. Rank 1 of 3. Very similar to Fallout 4, just a boost to special stats. Which is nice, but we'll have to see just how effective special stats are on their own before we get too excited about them. Next up, Green Thumb. You have a 25% chance even to reap twice as much when harvesting flora, rank 1 of 4. So yeah, this can be improved on quite a lot. And depending on just how good plant ingredients are, this could have the potential to be a pretty great perk. Next up, Panapictographist, which is the most difficult perk to say. You hear directional audio when in range of a magazine, and rank 1 of 1 of 1, exactly the same pretty much as the bobblehead one, but there'll be a lot more magazines, so slightly more commonly useful. These ones really are just for if you're wandering about free roam, hunting down these specific items, they'll be useful to have. And finally, Refractor, gain plus something energy resistance. I couldn't quite make out this perk. Even on my monitor and squinting and trying to get it all nice and zoomed in, I couldn't quite see it, so I wasn't 100% sure on this. But regardless, it's energy resistance. We're used to this from Refractor already. Could be good, could be bad, depends how much energy damage we take. Now, onto Endurance! First up, Vaccinated. Chance of catching a disease from creatures is reduced by 60%, and that's rank 2 of 3 and costs 2 points. I'll assume it's 30%, then 60%, then 90% as you go through the ranks. And yeah, diseases from creatures. Those could be nasty. I don't think... No, we didn't have that in Fallout 4 Survival Mode, but we did have it in Skyrim. So that's something that obviously bring back into the game from Skyrim, which they missed out on Fallout 4. Which I'm very happy about. Because I'm trying to think in my head, no, you didn't get diseases, I don't think, in Fallout 4. But either way, I'm quite glad to see that diseases are definitely going to be in there. Next up, Professional Drinker. There's no chance you'll get addicted to alcohol, and that is rank 1 of 1, however, it's got 3 point cost. So as soon as you get that card, you're straight away into you can have no addiction from alcohol, but it is a hefty cost one at the moment. As I said at the start of the video though, all this information could change, but no alcohol addiction, good for you heavy drinkers out there. Next up, Aqua Girl. You no longer take rad damage from swimming and you can breathe underwater. And just ones all along here. That's, yeah, we're used to this. Depending on how much water there is on the map, could be good, could be, we'll have to see. And a brand new one we've not seen before, Dromedary. All drinks quench thirst by an additional 15%. Rank 1 out of 3 with 1 cost. So 15, 30, 45% I'd assume? Additionally, a slow metabolizer, all food satisfies hunger by an additional 15%. So in Endurance, we're going to have perks that help us with our survival meters. All good to know. Next up is Revenant. Gain a plus 25% damage bonus for 2 minutes when a player revives you. And that's rank 1 of 2. Now this is the first time we've touched on players reviving you. Which is something they haven't talked about at all, but has been listed in multiple cards. So this means once you go down, you're not just instantly dead by the sounds of it. A friendly player can come over, patch you back up, and all is good. I'm quite interested to see how that works. I really like the idea of that. You have a squad mate who maybe charges in, gets in over their head, gets shot down, rest of you push forward, clear a bit of way, then you pick them back up, and all go in together. Oh, I'm getting excited already. Oh yeah, this I really like as well. And they could specifically even go in, get themselves knocked down, then get picked back up, so they get the damage boost. So this right here is great for your frontline players who might often be dying. Now on to Charisma, where we've got 14 different perk cards. Yeah, this is by far the most out of any special stat. So, Strange in Numbers, positive mutation effects are plus 25% stronger if teammates are mutated too. And this is just a 1 maximum rank 1 point cost thing. Very situational, but if you're going around as a team of mutants, this is really good. like stupidly good. Having all of your mutations stronger, that's great. Now, Party Girl, the effects of alcohol are doubled. That's rank 1 of 2 with a point cost of 2. So alcohol gives buffs just like in Fallout 4 and in all of the previous Fallout games maybe? Yeah, alcohol can be quite good. So a charisma / endurance character could get immunity to alcohol and have it give them more of a buff. Next up, Inspirational. When you were on a team, gain 5% more XP. And that's rank 1 of 3, so assumedly 5%, then 10%, and 15%. So play as a team, get an XP bonus if you've got this perk. Very good for anyone planning on playing with friends. Now, Hard Bargain. Buying and selling prices at vendors are better. Rank 1 of 3. Just like we saw in Fallout 4 with the first rank, was it Cap Collector I think it was called back then? Yeah, just better prices when bartering, which is nice. Now, Happy Camper. Hunger and thirst grow 40% more slowly when in camp or in a team workshop. Current rank 1 of maximum rank 2 or 3. I saw a card where the maximum rank was 2, I saw a card where the maximum rank was 3. Once again, one of the small inconsistencies I've bumped into. That's just, yeah, better survival traits whilst you're at your home base. More of a luxury life living perk, as I'm going to call them now for some reason. Just makes it so that if you're spending a lot of time building up a nice camp, then you're not going to have to worry so much about your survival meter. Now, Bodyguards. Gain 8 damage and energy resistance, maximum 24, for each teammate excluding you, and that's rank 2 of 4 with a point cost of 2. Additionally, in my notes, it was 6 damage and energy resistance at rank 1. Which means it goes 6, 8, 10, 12, I'll assume? And that would mean, what would it be? Oh god, maths. 18, 24... 36... No, wait. Yeah, 36 would be the top one. So maximum 64 damage and energy resistance playing with the full team. Which could be good. Makes you a bit tougher if you're more of a charisma-based character who might not be as much of a frontliner, but because you've got your teammates with you, you can take a bit more of a punch. Which is nice. Now, Happy-Go-Lucky. Your luck is increased by 2 while under the influence of alcohol. That, once again, could be good. We really need to know how good special stats on their own are. Quack Surgeon, well I really like. Revive other players with liquor. Now, this assumes players need to be revived with a specific item. My first guess would be stim packs would be the default. So then you're having to make the choice of do you revive a player with a stim pack or do you need the stim pack for yourself? And I could see some people really kind of bickering over how best to use stim packs. Like, do you want to put them all towards your medic? Like, do you want to give your designated medic all your stim packs? Or do you have a player with Quack Surgeon who can just use a bottle of beer and pick someone up? You have to make these decisions when playing as a team, which I'm really looking forward to. Now, Spiritual Healer. You regenerate health for 5 seconds after reviving another player. This will be great for any medics out there, and it seems like Charisma is actually going to be quite good for the medic class in general. I've already heard a few people talking about playing support and playing medic type characters, so a lot of these perks will likely interest them. Next up is a perk which I'm assuming is Philanthropist. I couldn't read the end of a word, but I've filled it in well enough with what I reckon it is. Restore some of your team's hunger and thirst when you eat or drink. And no idea how many ranks it is, but it only costs 1 point. And that's nice and simple. You eat and drink to reduce your survival meters, helps everyone else's as well. Squad Maneuver. Run 10% faster when part of a team. This on its own doesn't sound all that great, but it could make for a really speedy character. If all of you have this as well, you're much faster at traversing the entire wasteland. So if you want to go from one point of the map to the other, get everyone in your team to have this perk, and then just sprint all the way there. Now, Lone Wanderer. When adventuring alone, take 10% less damage and gain 10% AP reduction. Rank 1 of 3. This is going to be for anyone who's playing entirely on their own. It is the perk specifically for, I'm not playing with anyone, but I need a bit of a buff because I've got no one else on my team. So you get a damage reduction, a percentage-based damage reduction, which is huge, and some action point regeneration. Team Medic, once again another great perk for medics. Your stim packs now also heal nearby teammates for half the normal strength. So assumedly, say you get 100 points back from stimpacking yourself, then all your teammates around you would get 50 points health from you stimpacking yourself. So medics, it looks like you've got tons of perks. Tons of great perks. Finally in Charisma, Bloodsucker, which was previously called Vampire. Blood packs now satisfy first, no longer irradiate, and heal 50% more. So that lets us know that blood packs heal, they'd normally irradiate, and they wouldn't normally satisfy first, but with this perk they do. Nice and straightforward. Although, we won't know how good this is until we see how often we run into blood packs. Now we're on to Intelligence, and the first perk here is First Aid. Stimpacks restore 10% more lost health, rank 1 of 4, so assumedly up to 40% more lost health. Once again, medics are just gonna have a great time with all of these perks. Like, if you were planning on playing as more of a healer in Fallout, something which you, I'd say, couldn't do quite as well in the more recent Fallouts, at least Fallout 3, New Vegas and 4, being more of a medic character didn't work that great. Now you're able to, which I'm really happy about. And a perk I imagine lots of people will be excited about, Exotic Weapons. You can now craft rank 1 exotic weapon mods, plans required. And that's rank 2 of 2 for some reason. Which surprised me when it was rank 1. I don't know what that's about. Subject to change, remember, and all that. But the part that most interests me is mods and plans as well. So you find blueprints, assumedly, out in the wasteland, and when you do, you can make different mods for your weapons. So there's going to be tons more crafting options, is what I'm gathering from that. Now, Grease Monkey, workshop items are 30% cheaper to repair. We've heard that people can destroy your base to an extent, but if you can repair it cheaper, all the better. Now, Contractor and Science, I almost was able to read what they did, but couldn't quite. Contractor is more a building workshop based one. I assume it's something to do with crafting supplies being cheaper, and Science will be energy weapon mods. There was another plans required thing with this, so I assume it's very similar to exotic weapons. Master Hacker, gain +1 hacking skill, and terminal lockout time is reduced. Terminal lockout time is something we're used to from Fallout 4, you have to wait a set amount of time after you're kicked out. +1 hacking skill could be you get an additional guess, could be something else entirely. That's something we'll have to really wait and see for to be certain. And oh, I do actually have Contractor. Crafting workshop items now cost 25% fewer materials. I had Contractor in there twice. Oh, look at that, you've seen me make a mistake. Oh, woe is me, now I have to edit it all. Oh, and it's only 52 cards in total. Oh dear, Sarge made a mistake. Alright, well, at least we know what Contractor does now. Yeah, that's why I knew what it did. Perfect. Now, onto Agility. Dodgy! Spend 30 action points to avoid 10% of each enemy attack. Now, I don't know if this is passive, or you have to manually activate it like you would just a standard dodge ability. Either way, quite like the idea of that. That's a nice way for a more flimsy character to be able to potentially survive. Now, Mr. Sandman, Gunfu, and Adrenaline, I know barely anything about other than the names. Mr. Sandman and Gunfu, we can kind of assume they might be similar to the perks in Fallout 4, and Adrenaline was a Fallout 4 survival mode perk, where the more things you killed, the more damage you got until you slept. So that could well be the same as well, but that's all speculation. Now, Goat Legs take 80% less damage from falling, rank 2 of 2. Reduce fall damage, quite nice with a game that looks like it's going to have a lot more verticality even. Now, the final one in Agility is Marathoneer? I don't know how you pronounce it. Sprinting consumes 20% fewer action points. Tie that in with the team running perk thing, and you're just going to be running around faster. Nice and simple. Now in Luck, Mystery Meat. Stimpacks may generate edible meat tissue. Higher rads improve the chance. That's weird. And the luck perks, I assume, are going to be quite strange. They're either going to be really basic or very strange. Yes, you might get meat from using Stimpacks, and if you're more irradiated, there's a higher chance. Once again, very weird. Now, Grim Reaper's Sprint didn't get the effect on there, but could well be similar to Fallout 4. Something strange I saw was there's a card called Mysterious Saviour, as well as Mysterious Stranger. Could just be an inconsistency, there have been a fair few of those that I've spotted. Could be there's 2 different perks? We'll have to wait and find out. And Mysterious Stranger, the Mysterious Stranger appears more often when using VATS, which means everyone who was like, oh no, VATS isn't going to be as good because it's real time, you've got this still. Even if it's more challenging, you've still got the Mysterious Stranger who might just pop up and stick a magnum through someone's face, which is quite powerful. Now, Scrounger, 50% chance to find extra ammo when you search an ammo container. Fairly basic, rank 1 out of 4 as well, which a bit strange for 50% chance, but who knows. Why search was in quotations, I don't know. I kept it just like that because I found it a bit weird, but who knows. Luck of a Draw, your weapon has a 10% chance to regain condition when hitting an enemy. That's rank 1 of 3, so assumedly it goes up to 30% chance. That's very nice for if you don't want to bother spending lots of time trying to repair all your gear. Which is a thing. Item degradation. Words are difficult after you've been talking for a while. Yeah, your items break down over time, like in New Vegas and Fallout 3. And finally, Starch Genes. You will never mutate from rads, and Radaway will never cure mutations. This gives us quite a bit of information about mutations. So we already knew you got mutations from heavy doses of rads. That had been established and told to us. However, Radaway will never cure mutations indicates that Radaway normally cures mutations. Whether this is a 100% chance of doing it, or just a, oh, if you take Radaway you might get cured sort of thing, I don't know. But it lets us know another value of Radaway. So, that's all 52 cards, not 53, Sarge. Yeah, 52 perk cards that I was able to find. Some of them is literally just the name, but others we actually get a fair bit of information. And just searching through all of this has made me a fair bit more knowledgeable about the game, I feel. So, let me know in the comments what you think of those perks. Are you already planning builds in your head like I am? I have about 3 or 4 builds made already just off of this spreadsheet. There's timestamps and stuff so you can look back through this video format. Just pause the video, you've got all the information here. And yeah, thanks for watching. Sarge out. Oh yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. Thanks.